Hey everybody, welcome to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be tying a simple black cruncher. So it's the inevitable variation of the standard cruncher, and all that's happened is the colours have changed. So before we go into tying the fly, let me just run through the materials that are used. So hook size is 10s and 12s. Tail is black cock hackle fibres. The body is black cock pheasant centre tail, ribbed with fine silver. Thorax is, in this instance, it should be natural peacock herl, but I tend to use Hens Spectra dubbing number 46, which is a kind of black peacock. And the hackle is just a Black Hen hackle. So with that, let's get on to it. Just change that out. So the hook I'm using is a size 10 Camsan B175, and the tying silk is black in 8/0. Let me just tighten this vice up and keep swinging. There we go. So all we're going to do is take the tying silk in close touching turns, or as close as you can get them anyway, down to a point between the hook point and the hook barb. So that's just about it. I think the original dressing had cock pheasant centre tail fibres for the tail, but they tend to be a bit fragile and eventually break off. So instead of the fly having a tail, it more or less becomes a spider. So ideally the same length as the hook shank. I like them, as I've mentioned before, I prefer them slightly shorter. I'm not worried that they're splaying a little, but take the waist right up to the eye, and as you come back down, just tidy it up and then tie in some fine silver wire. So once that's in place, continue down for a couple of turns and until you arrive at the joint with the tail. Next material we're going to put in is cock pheasant centre tail dyed black, as I mentioned, and I generally use 3 fibres. I find 3 fibres gives me a good body, but also generally keeps the fly slim, which is what I'm after. So I'm just gonna snip off some of the finer points there and then offer that up. And tie it in. And what I'm going to do is just flatten that in. So when I finish off is where I anticipate the thorax starting. So I'll give those a little twist to start off with, and then wind them gradually. I find it easier if I take the turn, trap, reposition the fibres, get them back into tension, trap, until I get to a position that I'm happy with. So once I'm there, tie in the waist ends and snip off. There you go. So because I don't want this rib to be buried in the in the body material, I'll counter rib this 4 or 5 turns. So there's 2, 3, 4, and the 5th one is just where it finishes off. So put that in, secure it, and then give it a little helicopter off. So coming on to the thorax, a little bit of wax, although you don't need it. This material, the Hens Spectra dubbing, is quite soft and very easy to work with. So we take a small pinch and make a nice dubbing noodle so that we can form that thorax. So just shorten that working material. I'm not really worried about any loose fibres. I'm not after perfection. What I'm after is a nice buggy looking appearance. So I'll take that back there and then work my way forward back to the eye. So once I'm finished, I'll probably give that a brush through with a dubbing brush, just to make sure that I've got some of those fibres poking out, so that makes the fly a little bit more attractive. Well, to me anyway. So get the hackle, tie it in by the tip so we can double it, and tie that down, pull the tip back and form a nice base for the hackle. Snip off that, and the weight of the hackle all depends on your personal preference, really. Just return it there. So you might like a heavily hackled fly, and to be honest with you, if you've got the time, it's worthwhile tying smaller with lighter hackling, and heavier hackling for a bigger wave perhaps. Okay, so we can take 2 or 3 turns, but we'll assess that when we get there. There's 1 and a bit, and this is 2 and a bit, and I'd suggest that is enough. Just bring that tie-in silk up, flicking it through the fibres so you don't trap any, or minimize the trapping. Push that tie-in silk out of the way with your finger and snip off. There is 1 or 2 there, but I'm sure I can get rid of those. And then pull everything back, couple of turns, and then whip finish. So just whip finish to form that nice head to finish it off. Okay. And lastly, let's take some I'll use some UV resin in this instance. Generally I use varnish, but finish off this fly to a nice shiny degree. Some of it might have gone in the hackle, but no, it's a fishing fly, not one to display. Give it a blast with the UV torch. And that's just about it, I think. So I can give it a rough up, little brush with a dubbing brush when I'm ready, and all looking good. So early season when black buzzers are about, great fly. So that's it, the plain old black cruncher. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.